Okay, water signs, welcome to your daily focus tarot for Wednesday, August 9th. This is quite an interesting reading. So the first two cards that I asked for to come out on what you should focus on for today, Six of Cups and Six of Wands. So it's basically like a 3 kind of day for you. Because 6 and 6 are 12, which equals 3. So, I'm just starting to get into numerology. This card, it's talking about blending two sides of you. It's also talking about reminiscence. To me, I'm getting regret right now. But, usually it's talking about joy and like the innocence of childhood and kind of wanting to return back to that. But to me, because they're sitting on the earth and they're blending the flower, which is earth and sun, and they're blending it with the cups, which is water. So to me, this is also about like alchemy. And for the clarifier, we have the fairy light, which is temperance. So it's balancing two things. It's balancing like the two halves of you, but it's also balancing like earth and water, or fire and air, right? So this is a card of alchemy. Sorry for the jumping of the camera. I'm not sure why it's doing that. But this is, talking about you needing to balance or trying to balance, and that's really what you should be focusing on, is this balance and returning to this sort of just joy in being in your everyday life kind of situation. And you may need to be balancing work and play. It's not good to work all the time. Water signs, I think, have a tendency to be, quite serious, and I have Scorpio in my chart. I get accused of being very serious all the time and not really, having a sense of humor or joking a lot. So you definitely need to take rest times. You need to take times where you focus on doing something that brings you peace, something that brings you that sense of, I don't need to be anywhere, I don't need to do anything, I'm good just being me, just being where I'm at right now, at this moment. There's nothing to worry about, there's nothing to analyze. You need to try and focus on doing something like that. The other card that came out was the Six of Wands, which is a card of victory. And it's like a mental, spiritual victory, but it's also a victory for your growth, right? So alchemizing, having this fairy light, this fire light, this ability to get back to a time where you just are, where you're not stressed, you're not focused on negative things, or not even negative things, but like stuff that you have to do. You're focused on yourself, you're focused on your calm, your peace of mind. The clarifier for Six of Wands, we have a matched set, a King and Queen of Swords. Now, Queen of Swords, she can talk about like setting boundaries and being quite analytical, being organized, straightforward. This can also be like a negative card, and as a pair, it could be talking about balancing your masculine and your feminine and being able to do that in order to have this victory. Like the fairy light is talking about balance. But it can also be in the negative. Some people say it talks about career. I didn't specifically ask about career relationships. but she has this knowledge, this ability to do this intellectual endeavor, but also if we were talking about your career, she's very self-reliant, and she can also be like a negative boss who's a little demanding type of thing. And as a couple, they could be like people in your career who are your bosses who don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to have this victory. In terms of your personal life, like I said, it could be balancing your masculine and your feminine, like in particular when it comes to negative thinking, when it comes to maybe not being able to make a decision. So King of Swords is like thought through observation. It's a quiet authoritarian power. It's very discriminating and very decisive. Like literally, you can see him sitting there thinking, and he's got one leg resting, one leg that's almost ready to like jump up and cut out whatever he's thinking about. Like he's considering, do I jump up? Do I cut this out? So it can be advice. It could be legal or financial advice. Also, like somebody's getting ready to give that to you. I'm going to turn on a light. But to me, it's more about you balancing. And I don't know if you can see, like in the image right there, will it? Maybe it won't. There it goes. Okay, so that's the boar. The boar from the strength card in this deck. In this deck, the strength card, what she tames, is not a lion. It's a wild boar, which is associated with Odin, which is also very much associated with thinking and with knowledge and with gaining clarity through sacrifice, right? So this, to me, it's really talking about balancing, and this victory that you're going to have is all about balancing. It's about getting this alchemy right, this balance between male and female, this balance between your thoughts and your emotions about the past, getting it right. At the bottom of the Ethereal Visions deck, I'll go through this very quickly. We have Four of Swords, contemplation of things. There we go. Three of Pentacles. So this is about building. This is about planning and strategy. And you may be going to other people to help you with this planning and strategy. That could be what you're thinking about. Between the King and Queen of Swords, this matched masculine and feminine, and the higher power. You could be thinking about going for help. And once you do go for help, we have the Tower. The Nine of Cups, the satisfaction of almost being there, almost getting control of these cups, almost getting that, you can't see that, sorry. Almost getting that joy, that serenity, that balance back. And then the World. So like the rebirth into the victory. Now we also have at the bottom of the Druid craft Seven of Pentacles. So this is talking about harvest from the Tree of Knowledge, the Tree of Life. And then we have the Tower. So quite interesting. Four of Swords, contemplation, working with other people and asking them from the Tree of Life, the Tree of Knowledge, for help in playing this strategy. And then the Tower and the Ethereal Visions, whereas in the druid craft, you're harvesting first. You're harvesting this knowledge, and then you're having the tower. Then you're having the aha moment, the transformation that helps you move forward. And then you've got the Nine of Wands, which is, it can be talking about defensiveness. So like defensiveness, like if two people at work were trying to cause you to fail, like they were thinking, we really don't want this person around. Or we don't want this person to succeed in balancing themselves out. So this card can be obviously talking about defensiveness, but it can also be talking about perseverance. And to me, that's more what it's talking about than the defensiveness, because of the contemplation of the Four of Swords and then the Three of Pentacles in this deck. And then underneath Nine of Wands, we have Four of Pentacles. So this is also kind of a guarding. It's guarding what you've earned, the knowledge that you've gained, as well as obviously he's got coins, or he's got, food or something material in there that he's either going to lock up or he's going to steal from here. Either way, I'm reading it as he's going to lock it up in this instance. So he's being conservative with what he's done, what he's earned, or what he's about to do. So I would focus on your thoughts. Definitely. I would focus on who you are telling stuff to, who you're asking advice from. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to balancing yourself out, and in particular balancing your thoughts out, both your negative and your positive thoughts. Pay attention to any insights you get today, because those will be very helpful. Don't try to push your insights towards a particular view or a particular, don't try to make them fit the situation if they don't fit. Don't make a square go into a round hole, right? Look at them and say, okay, these insights are a square, but the hole that I already have is a circle. Why is that? Because maybe where you've been putting things is not, maybe the circle is not the right shape. Maybe you're framing it in a different way than it needs to be framed, or a different way than it, you're not seeing it for what it is. So be careful of that. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.